Under 18 USC 2332B G1, the term conduct transcending national boundaries means conduct occurring outside of the United States, in addition to the conduct occurring in the United States. Under 18 USC 2332B A1, whoever involving conduct transcending national boundaries and in circumstances described in subsection B kills, kidnaps, maims, commits an assault resulting in serious bodily harm, or assaults with a dangerous weapon any person within the United States in violation of the laws of any state or the United States shall be punished as prescribed in subsection C. Under that subsection, for a killing or if death results to any person from any other conduct prohibited by this section by death or by imprisonment for any term of years or for life. To bring a charge under the law against transnational terror, jurisdiction for prosecution may be established under subsection B1A, where the mail or any facility of interstate or foreign commerce is used in furtherance of the offense, and as defined in 18 U.S.C. Section 1958b2, any facility of interstate or foreign commerce may include means of transportation and communication, to include usage of the internet to promote these terrorist actions. To bring a charge under the law against transnational terror, jurisdiction for prosecution may be established under subsection B1B, where the offense obstructs, delays, or affects interstate or foreign commerce, or would have so obstructed, delayed, or affected interstate or foreign commerce if the offense had been consummated, to include the unconstitutional closing of businesses, schools, and places of worship. To bring a charge under the law against transnational terror, jurisdiction for prosecution may be established under subsection B1C, where the victim or intended victim is the United States government, a member of the uniformed services, or any official, officer, employee, or agent of the legislative, executive, or judicial branches, or any department or agency of the United States, to include an assault with a biological weapon of terror against even a U.S. Marine stationed at Fort Belvoir, a member of the uniformed services, the first laboratory-confirmed case of COVID-19 infection in the Commonwealth of Virginia, as well as those actions that may have altered or affected American free and fair elections. To bring a charge under the law against transnational terror, jurisdiction for prosecution may be established under subsection B2. Jurisdiction shall exist over all principals and co-conspirators of an offense under this section and accessories after the fact to any offense under this section, if at least one of the circumstances described is applicable to at least one offender, to include actions conducted in furtherance of the conspiracy, aiding and abetting the crime. Under subsection C1A, whoever violates this section shall be punished for a killing or if death results to any person from any other conduct prohibited by this section by death or by imprisonment for any term of years or for life. And to date, 9,985 residents of Virginia have been fatalities with deaths attributed to a novel coronavirus, according to the official statements of Governor Ralph Northam and State Health Commissioner Mohammed Norman Oliver. Under 18 U.S.C. Section 2, any persons found aiding and abetting a felony offense will be charged as principals. Under subsection C, 1D, whoever violates this section shall be punished for assault with a dangerous weapon or assault resulting in serious bodily injury by imprisonment for not more than 30 years. And to date, 593,562 residents of Virginia have been laboratory confirmed as infected by a novel coronavirus, according to the official statements of Governor Ralph Northam and the State Health Commissioner Mohammed Norman Oliver. Under 18 U.S.C. Section 2332B(a)(2, whoever threatens to commit an offense under Paragraph 1 or attempts or conspires to do so shall be punished under subsection C. Under subsection C, 1F and G, whoever violates this section shall be punished for attempting or conspiring to commit an offense for any term of years up to the maximum punishment that would be applied had the offense been completed, and for threatening to commit an offense under this section by imprisonment for not more than 10 years. Under 18 U.S.C. Section 2332B(c)(2, notwithstanding any other provision of law, the court shall not place on probation any person convicted of a violation of this section, nor shall the term of imprisonment imposed under this section run concurrently with any other term of imprisonment. This section specifically authorizes consecutive sentencing for offenses and prohibits concurrent sentencing, making punishments under this provision cumulative. Under 18 U.S.C. Section 2332BF, in addition to any other investigative authority with respect to violations of this title, the Attorney General shall have primary investigative responsibility for all federal crimes of terrorism. It is a scientific fact that viruses are the most abundant biological particles in the world. And prior to the emergence of a novel coronavirus, only 220 were found to be harmful to man, making the sudden emergence of an infectious pathogen from this class of microbial life forms the remotest possibility. But to date, the deaths of over 500,000 Americans have been attributed to a novel coronavirus. And as reported yesterday by Fox News, as top U.S. officials prepare to meet their Chinese counterparts for their first face-to-face meeting during the Biden administration, the State Department's former lead investigator who oversaw the task force into the COVID-19 virus origin tells Fox News that he not only believes the virus escaped from the Wuhan Institute of Virology, but that it may have been the result of research that the Chinese military or People's Liberation Army was doing on a bioweapon. According to that report, David Asher, now a senior fellow at the Hudson Institute, told Fox News in an exclusive interview the Wuhan Institute of Virology is not the National Institute of Health, and he states that it was operating a secret classified program, and in his view, it was a biological weapons program. Problematic with this finding regarding the escape of a pathogen is the scientific fact established by every credible large sample size tracer contact study, including the very first completed by the World Health Organization on February 24, 2020, where after a review of over 55,000 laboratory confirmed cases of infection in China, teams of at least 5 epidemiologists failed to validate a secondary attack rate of even 5%, 4 times too low by statistical significance to be validated as a communicable disease being transmitted from person to person, a specific finding made in that specific and extensive report. That report stated definitively that all infection outbreaks for this pathogen had been highly correlated with specific locations, and in China found primarily victims amongst the farming families, the political opposition in Wuhan, all factors indicating the deployment of a biological weapon of terror. In August 2019, the State Department published a report on weapons of mass destruction in which it made the following specific finding. During the reporting period, the People's Republic of China engaged in biological activities with potential dual-use applications, some of which raised concerns regarding its compliance with Article 1 of the Biological Weapons Convention, BWC. In addition, the United States does not have sufficient information to determine whether China eliminated its assessed biological warfare BW program as required under Article 2 of the convention. Historically, the issue of compliance by China with the BWC has been of concern for many years, though the assessments have changed over time. In 2005, the report, for instance, at the United States assessed that China maintained some elements of an offensive BW capability in violation of BWC obligations. In 2010, it was noted that China possessed an offensive BW program prior to its succession to the BWC in 1984 and was obligated to eliminate this program upon acceding to the convention. The United States continues to note that the BWC CBM declarations China has submitted have neither documented that offensive program nor documented that China has eliminated the program or any remaining biological weapons in accordance with Article 2 of the BWC. At that time, that report was published in August 2019. The South China Morning Post had reported that the People's Republic of China had prioritized its national production capacity for the manufacture of smoke grenades and had begun stockpiling this munition. At that time, significant findings were also found in the Chinese missiles program and violations of the Nuclear Arms Treaty. In December of 2019, the People's Navy for the Republic of China launched its second of only 2 aircraft carriers. This discovery regarding the smoke grenades was significant because it is well known that smoke grenades manufactured in China are high temperature burning munitions that create toxins, employing a 6-second ignition that reaches temperatures exceeding 850 degrees Fahrenheit. That produces a variety of toxins to include dioxins, which are expressly prohibited by world public health authorities because of their health effects, and rendering this commodity in arms sales practically useless in international commerce under normal circumstances. At least according to the nation's only physician serving as a state governor, but also a former Army surgeon. He is fighting a biological war, as reported by Timothy Barber of ABC7 WJLA on December 14, 2020, and of record with regards to weapons of mass destruction, WMD, generally described as chemical, biological, radiological, nuclear, or high-yield explosive incidents in Army FM 3-11.22, or an emergency resulting from the deliberate or unintentional release of nuclear, biological, radiological, or toxic or poisonous materials, or the detonation of a high-yield explosive. While there is some indications that some believe that biological warfare began in 1347, when Mongol forces are reported to have catapulted plague-infested bodies over the walls into the Black Sea port of Kaffa, now Feodosia, Ukraine. At the same time, a Genoese trade center in the Crimean Peninsula, believed by some to have set off the Black Death pandemic that swept through Europe over the next 4 years and killed some 25 million people, about 1/3 of the world population, carried aboard ships from the besieged city that returned to Italy with the plague. Others grant credit for modern warfare in biological munitions to the Assyrians in present-day Iraq, for the earliest documented incident of a biological agent being used in warfare is in the 6th century BC, using rye ergot to poison enemy wells, poison that causes delusions, paranoia, seizures, twitching, and cardiovascular problems that can lead to death. So historically, biological warfare has always been surreptitiously deployed and is the oldest weapon of mass destruction in the world. According to a recent official congressional statement, the greatest national security threat to the United States, and there is bipartisan resolve that the Chinese Communist Party will stop at nothing to exert its global dominance. Nothing to stop at its global dominance exertion. While this may be the present determination of Senator Warner, it remains a fact that on March 27, 2020, an intelligence estimate was delivered to him regarding a variant migration pattern of a novel coronavirus from Wuhan that appeared to defy epidemiological projection models that were included as a reference to the World Health Organization Novel Coronavirus Situation Report number 3, dated January 23, 2020. An intelligence estimate that he has yet to date to acknowledge even at the present, but which created a reasonable suspicion based primarily upon migration of an unlikely pathogen that the pneumonia of unknown etiologies that had emerged in Wuhan was migrating along a pattern consistent with tactical and strategic considerations akin to a biological weapon of terror, which would fit within the ambit of the current assessment of the Chinese government threat to the interests of the United States and its national security. Since April, for unarticulated reasons, Governor Ralph Northam, the nation's only physician serving as a state governor, has elected the peculiar defense strategy of evading the sheriff of the city of Alexandria to answer questions on these matters raised in the challenge brought against the state lockdown orders, an offense chargeable under the state law as contempt of court, and in a federal question as those raised in the suit under the free exercise clause with regard to places of worship that had been effectively closed constitutes a felony for evasion of a summons. And since June, Northam has further engaged in evasion from the United States Marshal in a suit brought under a similar theory regarding the statewide facial coverings mandate, which is chargeable as a felony obstruction of justice under 18 U.S.C. Section 1512, punishable by up to 20 years in prison for each offense, and establishing a pattern of racketeering activity, as well as constituting a conspiracy to violate civil rights, punishable by up to 10 years in prison under 18 U.S.C. Section 241 under U.S. v. Elliott. Once a conspiracy has been established, the government need only present slight evidence to charge additional conspirators. Under 18 U.S.C. 2383, whoever incites, sets on foot, assists, or engages in any rebellion or insurrection against the authority of the United States or the laws thereof, or gives aid or comfort thereto, shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 10 years or both, and shall be incapable of holding any office under the United States. On March 12th, an emergency application for injunction was filed with the United States Supreme Court to enjoin Governor Northam from further enforcing the facial coverings mandate in the Commonwealth and presenting a facial challenge against the entire COVID-19 response in the Commonwealth of Virginia for its unconstitutional foundation. Currently, a petition for writ of mandamus is being prepared for presentation to the Fourth Circuit to compel the Federal District Court in Richmond to convene a grand jury under Federal Rule of Criminal Procedure 6, which provides in relevant part that when the public interest so requires, the court must order that one or more grand juries be summoned. It is a mandatory provision that since June has not been executed. And by God, I am running for governor of Virginia. For 2 decades, I served my nation in uniformed service under a solemn oath, so help me God, to support and defend the Constitution of the United States from all enemies, foreign and domestic, an oath to which I remain obligated until such time that I may choose to resign that commission. So I ask every Virginian and every American troop to, like the motto of the infantry, follow me, and we shall overcome. Honest. And y'all come back now. Here. This advertisement was authorized by Mike Webb. And y'all come back now. Here.